Well, let's stick with that story and speak to Edouard Rodier, the director of Norwegian Refugee Council, who joins us from Brussels. Eduardo, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Just how important are the relations between Germany and Turkey in terms of the refugee crisis?
Well, good afternoon. They are essential. I mean, these are obviously the two biggest player in this crisis. If we consider the efforts that are being done to host refugees, Turkey has been deploying immense efforts to host them. But of course, it has to be a shared effort. And this deal between EU and Turkey needs to be about sharing costs, sharing efforts. And we certainly hope that the discussion today will be about sharing these efforts and not being about shying away from the responsibility of the European countries vis-à-vis these refugees.
Well, Edouard, you talk about the efforts and the sharing of responsibilities. I mean, this money was promised a while ago. When will that be coming through, do you think? And is that enough?
Well, it will not solve the crisis, this is for sure. So it will not be enough for that. But for sure, we certainly hope that this deal will help. In your broadcasting, there were mention about the necessity to make sure that refugees in Turkey have access to the job market, that they can send their children to school. If this deal allows this to happen, then you will have less desperate people who will take amazing risks to find a future for their lives and the lives of their children and heading towards Europe. So there are really opportunities, and we certainly hope that this discussion today will go the right direction.
And Edouard, do you sense there being a hardening of attitudes towards refugees in Europe, especially after those incidents on New Year's Eve in Germany?
The trend is not good. It is clear that the pressure is increasing, and I think what it means is that more efforts need to be done from all sides to remind what we are talking about. We are talking about human beings. Our teams that are operating inside Syria, in the neighboring countries, in Greece and elsewhere, are confronted everywhere with very deep human despair, and the situation of these people need our help. So yes, it is true that the situation is getting difficult, that the public opinions are increasingly concerned. What does that mean? That means that we, the EU leaders, the media, us, the aid organization, need to deploy more efforts to talk about this crisis for what it is, a human tragedy that needs more generosity, more solidarity.
Well, Edouard Rodier from the Norwegian Refugee Council, thank you very much for joining us.